We showed you what the GOAT was last year when we beat y'all 50-7.
Let's go! One team!
Relax, big boy.
Team One Podcast?
One Team, One Podcast.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Really good job. Yeah.
Why is he so fat?
One Team, One Podcast. One Team, One Team, One Podcast. One Team, One Podcast.
Fat.
One team!
All right, guys, welcome back to One Team, One Podcast, episode 37. Do we have a 37?
Cardinal Hatcher.
Oh,
Off the top of the
I don't
dome.
know anybody else.
Off the dome right there.
I know nobody else.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Colonel Hatcher, that was a pretty good one. Big hitter. Big hitter.
Yeah, big
Colonel
time
Hatcher. As big of a hitter as COVID right now.
Yeah, just about.
We have got some, hey, I don't know if you guys have heard, but if you're just joining us today, you've come to the right place because all we do is break news in this podcast.
Yeah.
We're just the breaking news guys.
We are. We got all the sauces.
Yeah, all the sauces.
They call us Worcestershire.
Saucy.
Oh, I didn't know we had that drop.
Oh, man, we got them all.
I like that
We
one.
got them all. All right, so big podcast today. We were thinking that we were going to have a Florida preview show.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. COVID has struck Florida. And we've done our own investigative reporting. We've been Nakamotoing this whole for the last hour here.
We got some conspiracy theories.
We have some theories of what's
We need to talk
happening
to
and where COVID is coming from.
one of the all-time great conspiracy theorists, Billy Zimmerman. We need to talk to him.
We do need to talk to Billy.
Yeah,
that would be
I'm
great.
Sure, I'm sure he's got some stuff.
I'm sure he's got something for us. So big news with LSU postponing, and that'll be December 12th. It looks like the week before SEC championship game. So any thoughts that we had of preparing for the SEC championship and having an off week, that's gone by the wayside. I mean, people are just screwing us left and right this year. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the other breaking news, which is Nick Saban has the COVID.
Right. And they played Georgia.
They played Georgia this week. Sark has taken over the reins. This is just the weirdest fucking season I've ever seen.
How come everything that I thought would be spread out throughout the year seems to be hitting this week?
Yeah.
What is that?
Right.
Right after the hurricane, too. I mean, just pile it all on at the same time.
For sure. So with that, we also are having KJ Malone on in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to have him on, and we're going to smoke some cigars with KJ.
Well, y'all are.
Yeah, I am. I have one of the Carl Malone cigars right here next to me. We're going to smoke some, and we'll talk to KJ about the Tigers. We'll talk to him about the postponement of Florida, and we'll also talk to him about Saban if he has anything he wants to talk about with that. And we'll see if we can get Carl Malone on his flip phone as well. So before we get started, though, I want to give a big shout-out to our sponsors, Courtesy Automotive Group. You see him over by Jack over here, Courtesy logo. Courtesy Buick GMC in Lafayette. Brandon Lejeune has been a big supporter of our podcast, and we appreciate him and all of his efforts with us. A couple of things for Brandon. We have something called the hit list. So a couple of deals that Brandon's got going on right now. He's got a 2020 GMC Acadia. The MSRP is $35,490. His sale price right now, $27,988. 2020 GMC Sierra, AT4. Let me preface, $8,000 off the MSRP. Lastly, the 2021 GMC Yukons are coming in right now, and he's if you go follow Brandon Lejeune on Facebook, he's going to show you all these new body styles that are coming in for these 2021 GMC Yukon Denali's. They are fine, guys. Check him out. Check out Courtesy Buick GMC. I'll post and tag all of his information on here, and check out his hit list. Brandon's doing big things over there in Lafayette, and that's the largest GMC dealership in the state. So you guys need to check it out. They'll deliver cars anywhere for you as well. Also, big shout out to Bear Process Safety. The big orange Bear Process Safety, doing work in Baton Rouge. Man, he is on fire right now. He's talking to a team in Belgium right now. He's developing a process safety plan for those guys. Anybody that listens to us and follows us that's in the industrial plant area, please reach out to your safety managers. Let them know about Bear Process Safety. He's doing big things in Baton Rouge. He's going to blow up pretty big. And got a little boutique firm right now, but they can Zoom call anywhere in the world. So Bear Process Safety, reach out to the Bear, man. The Bear is not afraid to talk to anybody. So you can also listen to the Bear on the Home Dogs podcast. We'll feature him on Fridays. With that, guys, we're gonna talk to KJ here in a second. Is he in the? Do we know if he's in the chat or not?
I saw him. He was watching the stream. I don't know if he's still in there.
Let me see if he's on the stream, guys.
Chat if you're in the stream, KJ.
Say something so the viewers aren't. Yeah, here he is.
Oh, is he in? You want to just let him in?
KJ's iPad. We're gonna let him in.
Let's go ahead and do
We'll
it.
let KJ in right now. So.
Hello?
Hey, KJ.
KJ,
Y'all see me?
can't see you yet. We
Can't
can
see
hear
you.
you.
All right, let me see.
There
it is.
There he is.
Nice.
Oh, you got the nice leather chair. Oh, this is just the spot right here.
Oh, yeah. How y'all
Good?
doing?
Doing good, man. Welcome to One Team, One Podcast, man. We appreciate you joining us. And I guess while we're at it, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the Carl Malone cigar right here, right? Let me pull it out of the
Oh,
wrapper.
yeah, right here.
Man,
Oh,
I
look
need
at
that box.
Jeez.
I need the box, man. Like I
Oh,
even have
yeah.
your box on. I have the box, the photo here on the live stream here. So we need that box.
Oh.
Actually, I was at Churchill's. I'll tell you this story. I said, "Hey, yeah, I have a podcast going on. I'm hoping Churchill's will help me out here, like give me a free cigar, whatever it is." And they're like, "Oh yeah, KJ comes in here all the time. Here's his cigar. There's only one left. Is he there with us? You there?
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, I
There
hear
you
you.
are. Okay.
All right, so
Yeah,
there's
I'm
only
here
only one left, and I said, yeah, I have Carl Malone's son coming on our podcast tomorrow, and so I need to get one of his cigars. And she goes, "Oh, KJ." I said, "Yeah, KJ." And so I said, "Yeah." They only had one left, so I have the last one, and I was hoping she was going to give me the box. She didn't give me the box. She put the box.
Yeah,
aside.
I'm going to hook y'all up with the box.
Yes, do that.
Yeah, definitely. That would be
Tell us a
awesome.
little bit about PF Importers and Legends, if you want to talk about Legends also.
Yes, so actually my sister is here, and she's the owner of Legends.
Okay.
So I'll let her talk about Legends, and I'll tell y'all about
Perfect. What's your sister's name again?
her name's KJ Malone.
Katie. Okay, perfect.
Hello.
Hey, Katie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. Tell us about Legends. He put you on the spot, didn't he?
Yeah, just a little bit. Well, Legends was actually a family. My dad actually thought about a cigar lounge, and my dad kind of wanted me to take over with the decorating and designing of the whole business.
Sure.
And then I kind of built it from the ground up. We had contractors and everything. We painted everything. And then that's when we partnered with La Aurora at the same time, who is the factory that is the maker of Dad Cigar.
In the Dominican, correct?
Yes, that is very correct. Yes.
Okay.
And they are also the people that have our rum as well. So we have the E. Leon Jimenez rum that was double gold.
Okay.
And Legends kind of spun off of that, but we kind of just Dad just wanted to have a cigar lounge where he can just smoke and have a great time. And so he kind of
he wanted his own little place. And so Carl
Exactly,
Malone
yeah.
can do that, right?
Exactly. He loves it. He's there all the time.
That's awesome.
So it worked out perfectly. So yeah, Legends, it's a nice little quaint, rustic, homey atmosphere. We don't have a lot of TVs right now. We're probably going to upgrade to that to some TVs. Dad's probably not going to like that too much, but we're going to get some TVs in there. And yeah, it's a nice little area.
So this is in Ruston, correct?
Yes, we're in Ruston, in between Monroe and Shreveport.
Okay.
If y'all don't know where that is.
We have some
and-
North Louisiana listeners, so yeah,
Okay.
they'll definitely hit you up for sure.
Oh, absolutely. We're right across the street from Teriyaki Grill, which is also our family's restaurant.
That's right.
So
Miss K's
yeah.
running that over there, right?
yes, she is. She is running that, and my other sister Kylie as well.
Okay.
She's running that.
Man, so Carl has he's living the life. So first of all, here's the thing. He is sitting back, smoking his cigars at his place. Meanwhile, he's got all of his children running all of his businesses. Is that right?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Fantastic.
He just shows up now and tells us he tries to tell us what we have to do, but then we're like, whoa, you're a customer.
Check yourself.
Pump the
Does he
brakes.
say put it on my tab? Does he ever tell you that?
Oh, all the time. And I'm quick. I'll push that button too. I'm like, yep, tab. Got you.
Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, I knew he was. Carl Malone is a different guy, right? Like he's just a different guy. I was telling Jack, he's Carl Malone's from the country originally. Like he's just a different cat.
Different.
Yeah, speaking of the country, we'll show y'all his trophy room he likes to call.
Awesome. Yes.
Great.
So this is like when you first walk into our house, this is what you see, and this is his trophy room he likes to.
Are we in your house right now, or we're at the?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're in Ruston right now.
Okay.
This is, as you see, all the animals.
Awesome. Yes, the
Holy
trophy room, the real trophy room,
Not the trophies I was thinking.
not NBA. Defensive Player of the Year or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the back.
Yeah. This is the stuff that he really cares about.
Yeah, pretty much.
So your dad still has a flip phone, correct?
Yes, he does.
That's never going to change, you think?
Well, we kind of try to move him towards the iPhone. So we got him an iPhone, but he uses the iPhone for his hog traps
What,
at
like
a farm.
iPhone 4 or something?
Yeah, he's got like the first iPhone,
The original.
or is it?
Yeah, boy, it's actually the most recent iPhone, but he doesn't know how to use it. The only thing he knows how to do is close the trap to his hog trap, and that's it.
That's so good. So we were looking it up earlier. We assume he doesn't know how to do Zoom. If he still has a flip phone. Yeah, that was like first thing. I was like, no way, he knows how to do Zoom. So and also, do you prefer I know you probably prefer KJ, right?
Yeah, I mean it's like.
Do people just call
my
you
close-
Carl Malone?
Well, my close buddies call me Will Clapp. He calls me Carl,
Okay.
and then
You have to be
my
close
friend
friends.
calls me
Though.
AJ or Junior. So it's whatever it is.
Okay, KJ or Junior.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we were just thinking about we were just gonna call you Carl Malone because it sounded cooler than KJ.
Hey, go, man.
So, how much of the team have you watched this year, KJ?
Every game.
Yeah, I'm
Every game.
assuming you're a big fan.
That's unfortunate.
I know your dad would always come down and watch the games, which was so awesome before
yeah.
whenever you were playing. So, what are your thoughts so far of the team and everything like that going on?
I mean, as much as criticism they get, I mean, they're actually make me proud. But it's they're just a really young team.
Yeah.
And you can tell they have all the potential to be great, but they just make the small mistakes. And I mean, it's nothing it's not like we don't have the talent or anything, because we have all the talent in the world. It's just
Right.
I think when they make the small mistakes, to kind of let it affect them, and just got to have that next play mentality.
So the obvious problems right now are on the defensive side. A lot of people still. I've had a few arguments on Facebook this week about. We're the guys that like to get into it with people, KJ.
Yeah.
We like to
Okay.
stir people's, stir up the feathers and everything like that.
We're shit starters.
Yeah, we do.
I like it.
Yeah, we start a lot of shit. I had to apologize to somebody because I was going a little too far. But what I said was I don't want to hear anything about the offense right now, whether you have problems with them or not. I don't want to hear a thing about the offense until we talk about like all of the defensive problems. And I was told, we've talked a lot about the defense, so we need to, but we were just nitpicking about the offense. And that, I feel like there is a problem with LSU fans from 2019 to 2020, which we like to pick apart the offense because the offense was so attractive looking at everything last year, and we still like to gravitate towards that side of the ball. But the defense is like the worst defense that I've ever seen, and I'm 42 from LSU. And so what are you seeing right now, especially with our defense and maybe some problems with the offense? Is there anything that you're seeing right now that you can kind of point at and say, hey, this is an issue?
I think it's just it's a young team. And, I think it's like kind of like a little championship hangover right now. But
yeah,
I'm not too worried about them because, going into this week for Florida, I think after, what happened last week, I think that kind of humbled them. I think they're going to come back this week, and I actually thought they're going to win this game, and the defense was going to win the game for us.
Yeah.
So I really think it's just like a lot of young guys because, if you look at the defense, like the defensive back right now, a bunch of young guys. So
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
Anything to do with so we're not big X's and O guys here at this podcast, but we can obviously see, okay, against Mississippi State, we played all man-to-man. We got burned, obviously. We had some guys on the field that didn't look like they were ready to play. Then Vanderbilt looked like we shored things up because Stingley came back. Then the next game now, Missouri, we started switching to zone. And we never switched back to the man-to-man, and a lot of fans are baffled. Like, we don't understand what the reasoning was and why we did this. And it's so obvious to us that it looked like some of the guys are confused on the field. They're pointing at each other. Guys are 40 yards downfield by themselves. Like, stuff like that going on that we can't get our heads around. And I'm sure a guy like you, and we've talked to Derry Beckwith, we talked to Justin Vincent, like guys like you guys know the game a little bit closer to see, okay, this guy was supposed to pick up this guy. The guy was probably supposed to pick up this guy. Are you seeing that also, like as a scheme issue too?
As a fan, I'm seeing that. But then going back as a player, I also you have to think about the times going on right now. They didn't fall camp. That's fall camp and spring ball. That's when we hammer all that stuff. So
right.
Not being able to have all the scrimmages, preseason games, all that really plays an effect, especially for these young guys.
Right.
Because, Mississippi State was their first, think about it, their real scrimmage.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much going out there straight out of high school, barely any practice, to just go into their first SEC game.
One guy just came straight in from Nichols 2 weeks
Yeah.
before. This is big time. But, it's weird for us because we see it as Mississippi State 2 weeks after has now looked like an average SEC team, if not below average.
Best, yeah.
They got held to 2 points last week.
Right.
So, and then it's what happened from 600 yards passing to 2 points? This is scary, and we're not used to seeing this from our defense.
Yeah.
Usually, our defense used to carry the offense back in the
days. Trust
me.
My senior year is when we lost to Troy, so I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll talk about how many times you went in motion in a second.
Oh gosh.
That's right. So your last year was Canada. That's right.
Who was the offensive line coach back then? He's at BYU now, right?
Oh, Jeff Grimes.
Jeff Grimes. That's right.
Yeah,
We couldn't
I
think
loved
of
him.
his name.
Yeah, he's tearing it up right now in BYU, right? Is he still there?
Oh yeah, he's the OC right now.
OC, right? So you follow those guys too?
Oh yeah, I love Coach Grimes. He was because I Coach Stud, great coach, and then Coach Grimes was there for the rest of my career, and I looked up to him like a father figure down there because he always told me right from wrong, and I waited my turn. He gave me a shot, so he's always gonna have a special place for me.
Well, what do you know about James Craig? Is there anything that you know of now from talking to players or anything like that? Did you ever get to meet him or anything like that?
Because I was with the strength staff last year for the national championship team.
Okay, so yeah,
So
obviously.
I was always around the O line, and he's preaching what every NFL coach preaches, and that's I mean you see how good D-Lou's doing right now. So and Sadiq. So I mean, what he's doing is good work. But I think same with the O-line, we're young, and we just need to have that. Like Ed Ingram and Deculus, like this is their time to shine, and there's a lot of young guys behind them who are playing right now but look good. So
yeah, I think the offensive line got a little too much flack after that Mississippi State game. Miles Brennan obviously in the first half looked rattled a little bit and needed some confidence, and it feels like he's gotten that confidence now. He's making the throws where he needs to make them. I think he was holding on to the ball probably a little too long that first week, running out of the pocket, and he basically made his offensive line look bad. I think there was a couple times where pressure was getting to him, but I think the offensive line's done okay. And
overall,
the biggest part. Now it's when the offense comes up, it's talking about third down. What's going on third down now?
Down and run game.
Mm-hmm.
Run game, and like also there's the obvious problem with you lost Joe Brady. Now you've replaced him with a guy like Scott Linehan. I have a ton of Dallas Cowboy fans that like to tell me all about Scott Linehan. And one of their problems was third down and short yardage situations, play calling issues. And we saw some of that pop up last week. Anything that you saw, especially with that last-ditch effort to kind of salvage the game, is there anything you saw on that as far as play calling issues? Last 4 plays.
I mean, I think the play calls were great. I think it just needed to be executed. I mean, especially like me being an O lineman, got to put that on our shoulders. Like
I'm with you. I was all Metro right guard right here in high school, KJ. So
let's go.
Me and you, buddy.
All 5'10"
Come
of
on.
you. Yeah.
5'10",
Yeah.
210, just a mountain of a man.
Mauler, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'll take your legs out in a heartbeat.
But I mean, as a fan, if I was a fan and like I wanted to do the play, I think I would have done like a little Tebow fake run, dump it off to the tight end.
Ooh.
That's what I would have done.
So here, that was one of the issues. Eric Gilbert's is not in the game.
Right.
Not in the game the last 4 plays.
Right.
That's part of the issues. Not necessarily play calling, but also like packages and who's on the field. Me and you both love Torrey Carter, number 44.
Oh yeah,
love
he's
him.
a tank.
He's a beast. Why are we targeting him in downfield passing game? Like, it doesn't make any sense to us. Doesn't make any sense to a lot of fans. Eric Gilbert's not on the field, and he's obviously like a phenomenon. Those are some issues that are coming up for the offensive side, but I had to preface it this week of like, okay, I can't talk to you about the offense until we both agree, me and you having a conversation, that the defense is atrocious and we need to like figure out that side of the ball. And once we agree to that, then I'll have that conversation with you on the offense, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the same in North Louisiana as it is in Baton Rouge right now as far as the thought process. What's your dad have to say about it?
I mean, he's just like me. He's a big fan. So I mean, when they're doing bad, my dad's pissed. So he's just like me. But I mean, I really think it's the not having the scrimmages, because as much as I hate the scrimmages, it paid off when games came, because when games came, you already knew what you're gonna do, so you can play full speed. So like I think like not having the spring ball, because spring ball was important too, because you literally go against the same people every day, you do the same plays every day,
right?
And then young guys in, and they can start learning the plays.
Right.
And then not having like the summer workouts and all that stuff, also that, because that's when you do 7-on-7s and all that stuff. So the first couple games, there's gonna be some rust on there just because all the stuff they didn't have.
Right.
But that's why I was like, so I was confident in them this week with Florida, especially going into the Swamp, and that's just being the big rivalry.
Right.
I think that's when they're gonna turn it around.
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, whenever I do I always do a prediction. Even at work, I'll put something on the board, and I've always picked LSU. I've never not picked LSU, and this week I was like, okay, so I have to pick LSU to win this game. So if I were going to pick them to win the game, I was thinking kind of like that Texas A&M game, 41-38. Like we're outscoring them. I don't trust our defense to just shut down Trask and Pitts, things like that. Is that kind of what you're saying the defense would pick it up. Do you feel like they would have been able to shut them down more than that?
I mean, you got to think too, because you're playing SEC ball every week, and normally when it's a regular season game, that's when you can start getting your legs under, start playing young guys, but like playing SEC ball is literally going against the best versus best every play.
Right.
So it's whoever's going to get the first stop who's going to win the game, and that's in every. I mean, you saw with Mississippi State, whoever got the first stop won the game.
Right.
And then last week, everything, and then even with the A&M Florida game, whoever had the first stop won the game, and that, I mean, that's going to be every week with SEC play. So I mean, it's just going to be who's going to be the man to step up, I think.
Yeah. And I think getting Ed Ingram back is really going to help out in the run game too.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
He's a mauler.
That's the
Yeah.
best player
Oh
on the
yeah.
offensive
He's a
line.
mauler.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe one of the best guards in the SEC.
Yeah, if you get Rosenthal and Ingram back on that side of the ball,
Right.
I think that
Was
makes
Rosenthal out?
Well, he wasn't out, but you never had them both in there at the same time except
that's
for the
true.
beginning of the season.
Right.
And to me, that Mississippi State game is still an anomaly because of the way our defensive backfield played. I do think that in Missouri, if we would have played more man coverage, it would have been better for us.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think we just still have a question of, like, why aren't we making adjustments in the middle of the game?
Right.
You know,
And the players are just too confused playing that matchup zone.
yeah,
just-
everybody's
it's-
pointing at each other
yeah.
at the end of the play.
Right.
It's just
There's very bad communication going on.
we're just not used to seeing that
Right.
from DBU, you know.
yeah.
So all right, COVID is like full fledged now. So there's a postponement. In my view, I almost feel like we needed more practice time.
Yeah.
What do you think about that as far as the postponement goes? Do you feel like this is a positive for LSU right now? Like,
Oh yeah. No doubt. Because I mean, they can use this week to get the young guys ready for next week and later on when they play Florida. And then if they want, they can have like a little scrimmage this week.
right?
And that can be like, because like this, they can use this time to rest guys like Ed Ingram, get them ready for the game, Derek Stingley, all that.
Brennan.
And get
I mean, Brennan was doubtful.
Geez, we weren't going to have Miles Brennan. That would have been.
Brennan
Yeah.
was
That would've
doubtful
been
before the
terrible.
season. I mean, before the game. Yeah, we were thinking we were probably going to play Max Johnson or TJ Finley this
And
game.
it sounds like there's going to be some pretty drastic changes on the defense. So it's nice to have that extra week to kind
to
of
prepare for it.
maybe
Oh, yeah.
install new things on there. or
Here's
something.
another thing. You know, our defense, and I've seen South Carolina play. That's our next game coming up. I feel like that kind of offensive scheme that they have could fit our defensive scheme a little bit better than like a wide open Missouri or a Mississippi State, one of those kind of teams. Like to run the ball a little bit more, although we were getting gashed against Missouri. But what
And
they did,
Vanderbilt.
they just spread everybody out though. Where I
Yeah.
think South Carolina's a little more traditional.
No, but South Carolina's pretty spread now with Bobo.
Are they?
Yeah, they got Mike Bobo over there. They're a little bit more spread out now.
There is no more gimmies on this schedule.
No. Oh, no.
We had
Apparently
the
there
three.
never were.
We had the three easiest games
Right.
just now.
Yeah.
Our expectations, KJ, before the season were extremely high. Before Jamar Chase opted out, I was a 10-0 guy. So, what kind of expectations did you have before the season started?
Oh, I was telling everybody we're going back to back.
Yeah.
Yes, one of us. One of us.
Oh yeah, I mean, they can lose every game, and I'm still gonna think they're gonna win the championship. I mean, that's how I've been with the Jazz every year. You can ask my buddies every year. I go to my buddies and say, "Hey, the Jazz are winning this year."
So
But-
Jazz is the big. Well, that makes complete sense. So that's the big team in your house is the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell, you're a big guy. Yeah,
The big Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
big Spider-Man guy.
Uh-huh.
big Spider-Man guy.
So have you heard Nick Saban has COVID? You have heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was right before we came on. Nick Saban has COVID. Les Miles has COVID. Everybody's got COVID. Have you had COVID?
I have not had COVID.
No.
Okay.
Not.
Anybody in the family or anything like that? Thankfully.
No, because my sister actually just had a baby, so we've been careful with all that
Good.
stuff. So
That's
Good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not usually too worried about people that have COVID until I hear that Nick Saban has COVID or Les Miles has COVID and people that are in the older age range have COVID, and I'm like, eeh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
tough. Apparently Saban is asymptomatic, but there's been tons of memes already on Twitter about Nick Saban and having COVID, and that he's going to coach next week with a Darth Vader mask on. That's been one of the big ones. But it looks like Sark is going to coach against Georgia coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big game.
That is a big game. You know that this was not in the cards. I can't believe, knowing Saban, that he didn't get this like slid under the rug that he had COVID and actually coached the Georgia game.
Yeah.
That would have been so on brand for Saban. I
Right.
think.
Well, he'll be in Sark's ear. You know that.
Yeah, he'll be in the ear.
Uh-huh.
We were saying that he's going to be in the press conference in the bed like Hugh Freeze was last year.
True. Hey, don't be surprised if he comes out in a bubble. He could be in a bubble.
In
coming
a
out.
bubble, like a bubble boy, the bubble coach.
Yeah.
The Saban bubble. Uh-huh.
That's great. So what are your thoughts on COVID so far? This has been the strangest season that I've ever witnessed. And it LSU's 1-2, so I'm laughing it off now. It's like, this is just the craziest, weirdest season ever. We're the podcast that likes to say, hey, let's just go ahead and cancel the season, guys. COVID is like dangerous. We need to cancel the season, and we're back-to-back national champions.
Yeah, I mean, I would like that. I would love that. I mean, the world's coming to like a weird place when ULL is ranked. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we got ULL people in our mentions talking.
Oh
shit.
man, they're talking shit to us, KJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
ULL's
Oh.
coming after us now.
Yeah.
Hey, they got a game tonight, so I'll hold the shit talk until after the game.
There you go.
Right.
Who,
Yeah,
who
no,
are they
will-
playing tonight?
I think Coastal Carolina.
Oh,
that's right,
they
sorry.
may get beat by Coastal.
That's
Coastal's
the-
not a bad team now.
That's the Les Miles.
I gave
kryptonite.
up betting. I gave up betting last week. We're not gonna put anything down on that. Retired last week, KJ. So all right, let's go back to LSU a little bit. Offensively, what are you thinking about Miles Brennan this year? A lot of expectations and a lot of pressure on him.
Oh, yeah.
He struggled out of the gate. He still had good stats, but it was so obvious that he was feeling it, especially in that first half. Come back strong, in my opinion, and now getting hurt. I almost feel bad for the kid because the defense has kind of let him down a little bit. But he's played well and he's come back strong where he could have caved. Man, that confidence factor in that first half of that Mississippi State game was real, and I was worried about him. What are your thoughts on Miles so far?
I mean, he has over 1,000 yards already in 3 games.
Yeah, I think he's like leading the SEC in a lot of categories here.
Yeah, I mean, Miles is a tough kid, and even when he got in the games last year, he was scoring touchdowns and all that, moving the ball. So I mean, I always had the confidence in him. It's just like with Miles, I think he kind of gets down on himself, but he's grown from that, and he doesn't let that affect him as much.
Yeah.
And I really thought, like I said, he was questionable for this weekend, but knowing Miles, he would have came out there.
He would have
played.
came out and still played. Right.
Well,
Yeah,
because I can't believe he was apparently very hurt the entire game and still threw for 430. So,
Right.
I mean, he's made some.
We've
tremendous throws.
heard a few different things about how he's hurt, and we saw the hit that he got hurt on, and he got blasted, and he should have went out of bounds, and I'm sure he's learned his lesson now.
Right.
But it's like hip, ankle, shoulder.
Yeah, we heard hip, ankle, shoulder, and bruised ribs.
Yeah,
We've heard
so
all
all
those.
those things we've heard. So, and he still came out in the second half and still played very well.
Right.
I just think the kid is shown what we've expected out of him, and that's kind of been my argument with people that are complaining about the offense is that the what did you expect this season out of the offense? Obviously, we expected a step down from Burrow and Joe Brady and that whole scheme and all, Jamar Chase opting out and all that kind of stuff. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is in the league. We expected a step down. Well, we're seeing that step down, but I think it's winnable. Like the defense, if the defense showed up in these 2 losses, we're 3-0 and we're top 5 in the country. In spite of any kind of problems that we're having with the offense right now. What are you thinking about the offense's mindset right now and Miles Brennan's mindset, knowing that he's probably going to have to go out and, like, at this point, he's going to have to go out and outscore some of these teams now. Do you feel like there's more pressure on him now to know that, okay, I have to score 40 points a game?
Well, I mean, I don't think any pressure is going to be as much as he had going into the first game. So,
So Joe
Ball
Burrow's
up to
ghost is like on his back the whole game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think now he's you can see how comfortable he is throwing at tears and all of his weapons he has. So
Oh,
I think
man.
now it's going to continue to just grow. And I don't think he has any pressure on him because he knows how good he is and how confident he is now, and all the weapons he has that he just like you saw the last game. He was just throwing the ball up because he trusted the guys.
Mhm.
I think it's just going to continue to grow.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think he looked very confident against Missouri. Like, super crazy confident.
I did too. I thought he did too. They're still getting bashed about their third down conversion.
Right.
0 and 10 on third down.
Yeah, what did you see that was the issue there on third down, or if anything? Anything specific?
I mean, there's a lot of drop balls.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's just got to execute. I mean, because the play was there. The play was there. They just got to execute and finish that because they're down. They're down to win the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, clearly.
Well, and two plays at the one, handing the ball up the middle to Ty Davis Price. I think one of the criticisms also on the off. Here we are again. We're criticizing the offense,
Right.
even on our own podcast. We're
Well,
leaning towards leading towards the offense because it's easy to do. No John Emery in the game, pretty much the whole game. He had a breakout game, in my opinion, against Vanderbilt. We thought it was like the coming out party of John Emery. We've all been wanting to see it, and here we are. We don't get to see him very much at all, and we have no explanation of why. There's a lot of frustration on the offense, even though we know that the defense lost you the game. It's just
Well, I mean, I'm not frustrated with the offense. I mean, there's some
questions.
There's some
There's some
things that I
questions.
have questions about. Yeah, yeah.
right.
I mean, the offense still needs to improve, and it's still game 3.
Look, there was one package that I saw on the field that I think I jumped up out of my chair, and I love all these kids, but Torrey Carter was one of them. He does the whole Thad Moss split out wide.
Right.
Miles Brennan was by himself in the backfield, 5 wide. Torrey Carter is all the way on the boundary. Chris Curry goes all the way out in the boundary. You have Coy Moore, true freshman, Keyshawn Butte, true freshman, and you have Jeray Jenkins in the game at the same time. And I'm thinking, why are these 5 in the game at the same time?
In a 5-wide set.
In a 5-wide set.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
There's nothing to explain for that. It's the same thing on the defensive side of the ball. There's nothing to explain about why we're playing zone against Missouri, and you got Eli Ricks, who I know is a great player.
Yeah, he had his worst game this
Jacoby Stevens, who I know is a great player, pointing at each other,
Right.
saying, why didn't you cover this guy
Right.
who's 40 yards downfield by themselves? There's a lot of coaching issues that we're seeing, and I don't know if it's necessarily on the player's end. Or what do you think about the coaching versus the player? Because I've heard a lot of people bashing players' effort, but I feel like it's the coaches are putting them out of positions.
yeah, I mean, because like you said in the beginning, like it looks like they're confused out there.
Right.
So like, I mean, a lot of confusion is coming from the young guys, and that's where like all the practices that they missed come from. Because as much as I hated practice and all my teammates hated practice,
Yeah,
when we got to the games, it's so much easier because we're like, okay, we rep this.
you knew
over
exactly
and
what
over.
you needed to do. Right.
Yeah, so like the COVID going on, like the young guys really didn't get those reps. So when they get out to the game, they see it live. That's the first time they're seeing it live. So they're like, oh, this is a lot faster than high school. So I need to like get my stuff going.
Well, that's a great point because one of the guys we told you this earlier this week. We were trying to get Damone Clark on. He'll probably be coming on soon, but we wanted to get him on to talk to him because Damone Clark has been kind of in the focus a little bit. So is Jabril Cox. There's a few of these guys that have been in the focus because they look flat-footed and they look slower than we know that they are.
Right.
Last year we saw Damone Clark, making different blitzes, busting through the middle, like his hair is on fire. And now we see him kind of flat-footed, and it speaks to a little bit of it. He looks like he doesn't know exactly. He's unsure of where he needs to go, and that goes back to Pelini. And I know he's been on the hot seat here this past week, but it goes back to Pelini not putting these guys in the right position to be successful. A lot of people bashed on Aranda last year, but there's a lot of people. Those same people probably are wishing Aranda was back right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean that's LSU fans though.
Yeah, the backup quarterback's always the most popular guy, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
same thing.
He's the best one on the team.
That's right.
Yeah.
Max Johnson.
That
Max
was
Johnson.
Miles Brennan his freshman year.
Oh,
Full
really?
circle.
Oh, it's well, Danny
I-
Etling. We wanted we wanted Miles Brennan over Danny.
Oh yeah, you were on that team. You have any good Miles Brennan stories from back then, or no?
Well, I mean, the first game when we played BYU, it was I think we were blowing them out, so they kept the starting O-line in, and then they brought in like the young guys as like the quarterbacks of Miles, and Clyde came in,
Right.
and they came in the game for their first college snap, so they were like eyes open, like nervous, and so we get in a huddle, and Miles starts calling out the plays, and like there's no one in the stadium because everybody left, so he's yelling the
Yeah,
plays.
I was there.
And then Will's like, "Hey, bro, like calm down. Like there's no one here. So like, you don't need to shout the plays." So he starts like whispering the plays to us, and we're like, "All right, we can't hear you now." And then so like the play goes on, and then
Y'all were just fucking with him, right?
Yeah, we were just messing with him. So the play goes on, they dump it off to Clyde, and Clyde stays in bounds. And so we're like us starting linemen, we've been in the whole game, so we're tired. So Will looks at Clyde, he's like, "Hey, you freshman, stay in bounds. I'm trying to get home. I'm tired." Like, as the game's going on, there's like a minute left. So, but I mean, right from the jump, we saw how good Miles can be, and I mean, you saw how good Clyde turned out.
Yeah, I graduated in high school with Clyde. Actually, I was really hyped after that play. That was
Oh,
his-
yeah.
Yeah, that was like the first big play you saw him play.
or just the first play he ever made.
Ever made, yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us some. We want some Matt Canada stories.
Oh yeah.
All right.
kind of-
Yeah, I know you know. I know you know. Come on. I want the in the face Matt Canada. Ed Ogeron's got his shirt off, like they're looking at each other snarling. Like I want that story.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. Me being a lineman, like Coach Grimes kept us away from all the drama. Because like he like looked at us like the big brother, so we had to lead the offense. So, like I really wasn't in the drama. We just saw like halftime, just like little like smirks at each other. That's all I saw. But
I mean, this is the Troy game, like right? Like this is
yeah.
the Troy game. Like Ogeron's going to take control of the Troy game. He, we saw it as fans. We saw it right at the beginning of the game. Obviously, there's no motion. We're handing the ball vanilla up the middle.
Well, first play of the game was the Nick Brissett fumble.
Nick Brissett up the middle. No motion at all.
Right.
Everything kind of changed. And then the second half, everything kind of started sparking again. And it looked like, okay, obviously my plan as Ogeron didn't work. So I'm going to hand the keys back to Canada, and we'll get back in the game.
Right.
What happened on your end? Anything that you knew?
well, I mean, all I remember is coming into halftime, like, oh my gosh, like we have a game with Troy.
Right.
And then Coach O comes in the locker room. He just like yells like, "Oh!" like yells something, and then Canada starts coaching. So we're like, all right, so
That was it was just like and
I
y'all
think
just like
it
got
was
up.
like a grunt.
Yeah.
And so I think the grunt, like everybody knew the grunt meant like, all right, like go ahead.
All right, let's talk about how many times you went in motion that year.
Oh wait, so I'm gonna call out Toby Weathersby because he always complained about his knees hurting, so I was the one that had to go to motion. So I was pissed. So I lost count after about 10.
He had to be bullshit.
So he said my knees are hurting, coach. I can't go in motion.
Well, he did have bad knees, so we call him old man, but like not as much as I had in motion. He could have motioned at least one time.
Oh man, I felt for you guys. As an old offensive lineman like myself, all Metro, all District, 2 years in a row, 90s, 95, 96.
Hey, let him know.
Yeah,
No.
I've never gone in motion. Once I hated being in a 3-point stance more than 3 seconds. All right, like we were on the team a straight T formation. You get in the stance, set, and you're gone. Like if you had to sit in the stance for like more than 3 seconds, I'm like, snap the ball. Like I was that guy.
Yeah.
So I can't believe like you guys were having to do all that.
But I will say I was in the best shape of my life that year.
Oh, I bet.
You needed to be. Yeah, man, actually, speaking of that BYU game, I remember the first play for the offense that game. You go in motion, and the whole Superdome goes, whoa.
Whoa, yeah.
What is going on?
This is that pit offense we've been hearing about. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
and then I end up going the wrong. I end up going the one way, and then Toby goes the other way. Toby just messed up the play.
I have to go. I'm gonna watch that back now
Yeah,
tonight.
I do need to go back and watch.
All right, we got a couple of questions in the chat. Do y'all believe the rumor that LSU paid Texas A&M to give COVID to Florida?
I 100%.
So, all right. So Florida's got 19 or 20 guys out, right?
21.
21 guys out, right? So Texas A&M, they went to Texas A&M, and they're saying that possibly some of the sources came from Texas A&M. What were you saying?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty funny. So the 3 teams with positive COVID tests right now are Florida, Vanderbilt, and Texas A&M. The 3 teams that Texas A&M has played, or no, wait, no,
2 teams.
No. It's Florida, Alabama, and Vanderbilt, and they've all played
Texas A&M.
That's the 3 teams.
So the
Texas A&M has
source
played.
is obviously in Texas A&M.
Right.
Somebody's slipping them the COVID.
Right.
And then the funny thing is Texas A&M has almost got a packed stadium.
Yeah.
Making all kinds of
It
noise.
was packed.
Yeah, it was like, this is nuts. Nobody else can even have 20,000 in there, and you guys have at least 60, 70,000 in there.
See, but my thing is like, why can you sit 6 feet sideways, but like horizontally? Like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
good that way.
No, I can
right?
sit right behind a guy and breathe.
Yeah, you sit behind me. I'm not gonna get COVID.
Well, you're supposed to be wearing masks, first of all.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's something. LSU wasn't enforcing that crap at all.
All right, here's another question. How much does Brennan not being a runner like Burrow contribute to not opening up the offense? I kind of disagree with that. I think we are opening up the offense. I don't think
How
zone.
much more open does the offense need to be?
Look, I saw one. It was a zone read, and then they threw it off to the wide receiver.
was
I was like,
yeah,
"This is
that-
fantastic.
That was a great
That's
play.
amazing."
Yeah, that was an awesome play.
That's the way
From
to change.
from when I played, it's a lot better.
Right. I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't know how we can complain
What
about the
What would
offense
you
being open.
think, KJ, if you were in the 2019 and 2020 offense, for crying out loud?
Whew, that's like the O line we had back then. We would have been wrecking shop. I mean, they wrecked shop last year, but I think we would have won the award back to back, the O line award.
We've asked that question to Justin Vincent too. Like, how would you feel about being the freshman Justin Vincent in this offense? He would have lit it up.
Oh yeah,
The same thing. Like, I mean, nobody can pass that up. Todd Kinchin. We talked to Todd Kinchin on another podcast as being a wide receiver in this kind of offense. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, golly, the guys just dream about being in these kind of offenses
Speaking
right
of
now.
Justin Vincent, he's a big cigar guy, isn't he?
He is. I invited Justin Vincent to come on the podcast, even come in our backyard and smoke the cigar. I am currently smoking the Carl Malone, La Aurora.
That reminds me. You said you have a good story about how you got those into the.
Yeah, tell us about these
I need to hear that.
cigars and how we got him into the. This is the Burrow cigar, right?
yeah. So that's the cigar that Joe was smoking after the game.
I'm
so,
smoking the Joe Burrow cigar right now.
So we went fast, like rewind to fall camp. So it was like right before fall camp was about to end, the season was about to start. Tyler Shelvin comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, we go to the Natty. I want you to get cigars for the whole D line." So I was like, "All right, yeah, whatever." So I was like, "All right." So right when I didn't think he was gonna remember at all. So it was like 2 days before the national championship game, and he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, remember the cigars? Like, you got them?" And I was like, "Oh crap!" So I called my dad. I'm like, "Hey, Dad, like, we need to get some cigars for the D line for the national championship game." And then so my dad ended up getting like 150 cigars for like the whole team.
Awesome.
So so before the game happens, I'm like, I probably need to get this cleared with like
Compliance.
yeah, compliance, and then
New Orleans police.
New Orleans Police. Yes.
yeah, and Secret Service.
The
So, like,
Secret Service.
So I go to Secret Service. I'm like, hey, like, I got these cigars from like Dominican. They're my dad's cigars. So I was gonna hand them out to the football team after the game. And the guy looked at me. He's like, "Oh, no problem."
Uh-huh.
So I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" So I get the cigars. We go to the stadium, and then right when the game ends, I was like, I remember we have the cigars in the locker room. So I jet to the locker room. I grab the cigars. I'm handing them out like crazy, and then Joe's at his locker, and Miles is like, "Hey, like, Joe wants a cigar." So I give him a cigar, and right when I gave him a cigar, he gets pulled for media, and that's where that picture came from.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
That is
So
awesome.
it was literally like right then. It happened so quick. And then New Orleans police came in there and said we can't smoke in the locker room. But
Right.
then everybody's like, well, Secret Service said we can. I mean, we're going to listen to Secret Service for New Orleans police. No disrespect, but.
Did you end up getting in any trouble for that?
I did not, surprisingly.
No. Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't come back up.
Well, that's why we're bringing
Well,
it
if anybody got in trouble, you would just say, hey, come speak to my dad, Carl Malone. You know him, the Hall of Fame basketball player? I'm sure that would have shut things down, right?
Oh, yeah. Or just talk to the Secret Service.
Have you ever gotten in real trouble and you called your dad out as like a way out?
I never have.
You never use that as all? Like a
Okay, if I do that, it's going to be worse punishment for my dad, so I don't want to bring him in.
like, excuse me, officer, what did you pull me over for? Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Hey, yeah, what's your name, son? It's Malone. Carl Malone. You ever do that?
No, I feel like if I did that, because like my dad knows all like the police officers up here in Ruston.
Oh yeah.
So they'll just call my dad, and then my dad will be like, all right, I'll just wait for him when he gets home.
You'd be in more trouble with your dad than anything else.
Yeah,
right?
I'd rather get the ticket than be in trouble with my dad.
That's great. All right, so anything we should be expecting and thinking about for LSU football coming up here? Like what I know you're saying that the guys are young, they need a little bit more time. I guess South Carolina would be the next test, and then going to Auburn in 2 weeks. Right. So that'll be like a real big test. Not that South Carolina.
Yeah.
South Carolina just beat Vanderbilt by the same score we did. So it's no pushover anymore, right?
No, I mean I actually think this week's gonna be great for them because now they know the mistakes they need to correct, and now they can get the young guys practicing because they'll just sit out and recover. So I think this week's gonna be great for the young guys. So when they play South Carolina, that's gonna be their first kind of big test before they play Alabama. And the Alabama game's always gonna be the big test for the year.
Right. All right. So talk to us a little bit about PF importers with these cigars, by the way. So we reached out to Churchill's. Churchill's had the last one in stock. PF importers is that's the only place we can get them in Baton Rouge right now is Churchill's, correct?
Yeah, so Churchill's, but so we're actually throwing a event at Churchill's for the Bama game. So we'll have like we'll bring some more cigars down there, and then we'll have like our so PF importers right here. There's on the shirt. It's like we're the first distribution company here in Ruston. So we have alcohol and tobacco, and we have like 14 brands right now that we're carrying. So all those brands will be down at Churchill's before the Alabama game the Friday night before. So like if people want to come in and sample it, they can be able to sample it.
All right. So what day is that again? We'll post that. I
want to say is the game the 14th. So it's whatever the day before the game, whatever the day before the game is.
Okay, so the 14th.
So that's November 13th then, huh?
Okay, so is it going to be the rum and the cigar kind of tasting?
Oh yes.
Hey there he is, Hall of Famer Carl Malone on the podcast.
There we go.
How you guys doing?
Doing good. We were going to get you on a Zoom call, but we knew that you didn't know how to use Zoom, so.
Hey, easy now. Look, see what I do to people like you? See that? So rough them up.
There you go.
How y'all doing?
Hey, good. We're smoking the Carl Malone cigar right now, Carl. So, great cigar, like very smooth. Just saying. We only had one left in at the Churchill's in Baton Rouge, though. So we'll need to get a hookup here, and we'll smoke these forever.
This fella right here got to be on this job.
Hey, we told them earlier. Hey, you got the life right now, Carl. You are sitting back. You're smoking your cigars, right? You call them cigars, right?
Cigars. Yeah.
You're smoking your cigars. You got all your kids running all your businesses. Perfect life.
Awesome. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. One day we have to come down and do a sitting like that with you, and we have that Leon Jimenez rum out there.
There we go.
Oh, that sounds great.
We'll do it up really big.
I'll tell you what, we were actually talking about, since football season isn't going the way we planned it to go, we were talking about doing an LSU basketball preview show. We've already had Coach John Brady on the show. We're going to get John Brady to come out here. We'll get you to come out here. We'll have a big old swing ding, and we'll smoke our cigars and have our LSU preview basketball show. Is that cool?
go. Yeah. We make it happen. You just let KJ know.
There we go.
Hey, we talk.
We got a little lake out here. We got our fire. We're good out here, man.
Okay, well, we bring the rum. And
There you
make
go.
sure
I'm a bourbon guy. I'll drink your rum. I'm a bourbon guy, but I'll drink the rum for sure.
I'm not picky at all.
Good deal.
We appreciate you. Hall of Famer Karl Malone joining the podcast. KJ.
That's great.
How you like that? Your dad trying to trump you a little bit. And yeah. He was like, he can't get all the attention, KJ.
Wait, he just got back from moving dirt. He was moving dirt all day.
Moving dirt. Isn't that crazy? Karl Malone, Hall of Famer, forward, NBA player, moving dirt.
Moving dirt.
I don't think there's any other Hall of Fame basketball players that are moving dirt today.
Yeah, probably not.
Anybody giving you any grief about Karl Malone being your dad?
Oh,
On
yeah,
the
I get it
team,
all
like
the time,
on the team and all that before.
I mean, it was more they were giving grief to my dad. Every time my dad walked in the building, they'll try to post him up, and my dad will always like bump him. So,
hey, I remember seeing. I think it was Nick Brissett and Clyde Edwards-Helaire would always do the whole like dunking on people Instagram posts. Did they ever try to do that to Karl?
I think Nick always tried to say he's gonna dunk on my dad. Every time he saw me at practice, like, hey, tell your dad I'm gonna dunk on him.
Yeah, that's awesome. We appreciate this, KJ. Like we really want to do this a little bit more. Maybe we can partner with PF. We would love to do that kind of stuff. We're big liquor and cigar guys, as you can see. So,
and I am too.
There you go. We're gonna have you in Baton Rouge, man. Next time you're in town, just hit us up, and maybe we can do a live one. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, bud.
Appreciate
Talk to you soon, man.
See ya.
KJ Malone, man, that was awesome. Little Karl Malone action in the middle of that pocket. You didn't expect that, did you?
Not at all.
I know. When you see
came
Karl
up-
Malone just sneak up on somebody, you're
He
just
came
like,
up behind. I was
"Holy
like, man,
cow."
that sure does look like Karl Malone.
That was awesome. All right, so he seems to say that the guys are young.
It's a youth thing, yeah.
I'd agree. I mean, you can't argue with that.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, that was going to be a fairly valid excuse all year. I kind of hadn't thought about that.
Well, I mean, I've thought about it, but I also thought that
kind of been so caught up in like
the whole man-to-man to zone didn't make sense to that. And it looked like a complete, the first game looked like a possible, like, okay, we may have an issue with personnel. The first game, the second game looked like everything got shored up, and the third game looked like a scheme issue. Like we didn't put those guys in the right position.
Right.
The first game
also looked like a scheme issue.
Well, the first game, a lot of people were screaming, "Why didn't we go to zone?"
Right.
We saw why.
Right.
In the third game.
Right. But it wasn't really it didn't feel like a true zone though. It was that matchup zone.
Right.
And I think the matchup zone just requires so much communication and understanding of what's going on. And what I don't understand is when you see that your players are so confused and just can't quite grasp it, why not switch to something simpler like just a straight man-to-man or just a straight zone?
Right.
I can't figure out why we were so set on playing this matchup zone.
I can't believe that we went back to the zone. Like if you went to the man-to-man and you didn't come off of it against Mississippi State, why would we ever see it again?
Right.
That was the time that you were going to see it, right? Like when you were getting killed on crossing routes and stuff.
On Sunday.
Didn't make any sense to me.
If it wasn't good enough to play Mississippi State, then it's not good enough for anybody.
No.
Right.
And we called them Bedazzled Sack, our Mizzou cast guys.
Yeah, they still call them that, by the way. I was listening to them the other day.
Do they?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Okay.
they're just going to call them that for the rest of the year.
Well, good. That's what we're going to call them, too. Bedazzled Sack looked like freaking Peyton Manning out there just putting things on dime. But he had wide open wide receivers.
So Billy says the Missouri game was like a kind of an overcorrection from the State game.
It does. But Vanderbilt game was the game that I felt like.
Right, but
things got right.
But what we know now is that Vanderbilt is just
sucks.
terrible, and anything we did against them was going to work.
All right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about opponents because I've gotten a little heat this week because I said, okay, defense was atrocious.
Sure.
It's the worst defense that I've ever seen, and I'm talking about Curly Hallman time. I'm talking about Lou Tepper time. I've been through all that. This defense was worse than any of that. And I was told, well, Bama gave up 600 yards, and they still won the game. But obviously, we're talking about two different teams.
Right. And
Bama
it's
played
just-
Ole Miss. Ole Miss is obvious. Hell, how much would Ole Miss score against us right now? 70.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, name the
No,
score.
we wouldn't get a stop.
We wouldn't be able to stop
We
Ole
wouldn't
Miss
be
right
able to get a
now.
Stop.
Missouri.
I mean, the thing with our we will get turnovers. We're going to get turnovers in every game we
that's
play.
the only thing I can tell you about the offense.
That's the
is that-
only thing this defense is doing well is they are creating turnovers.
Well, how bad is our defense when we lead the SEC in turnover margin,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we give up this
Well,
much
it's-
points?
That's Missouri punted one time. The
Yes.
rest of their possessions were fumbles and touchdowns.
To me, that's the answer right there.
Right.
Like you're not getting any stops.
There's no in between.
right.
Right.
It's all or nothing. And we thought we were going to have more turnovers this year, and we do.
Yeah, we certainly do.
The Mississippi State game, we won the turnover margin. What, 4 to
2.
4 to 2.
We had 4 turnovers.
But that's what happens when you give up 600 passing yards.
We got 3 to nothing this weekend.
Let's talk about that. How much do we make KJ Costello look like a Heisman Trophy winner?
right.
And look at him now. He just got benched against Kentucky.
right.
It's very scary. And
don't
I've
know
said this before. This is one of those times where, like, I understand we won the national championship, and I understand recruiting is in a good spot right now. But, man, that does not look good. And that is very scary for the program that you can let things go that fast. And I get all the guys that left, but this is a scheme issue, not necessarily a personnel issue.
Yeah.
Maybe Stingley being hurt. I get all that, but
Right. That
600
was-
yards? 600 yards is 600 yards, man. Like that's a lot,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
when the guy's barely throwing over, 200 last couple weeks. You know,
Right. And that's something with Bazelak this weekend.
Bedazzled sack.
Bedazzled sack. See, that's the thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to say it every time.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. That's the thing with bedazzled sack is that just
Just so
I-
funny
I
when you say
don't-
it.
I don't know if this past weekend he's really good. And I kind of think that a little bit right now, but that's also what I thought about Costello. So it's kind of, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see if that Missouri offense actually is good. Because, I mean, if you did watch that game, we do need to put a lot of the blame on our defense, but their offense also did play well.
What I did like about their offense, and what I really would like to see out of our offense a little bit too, is
So much
some
misdirection.
imagination and some
Yes.
creativity and a little bit of trick plays as well.
Right, not that much. We don't need to be running that many.
No,
trick
we
plays,
don't. But quick
yeah.
scores.
And I think
is
a
what
big
I want.
reason that they ran so many of those trick plays is because they knew it was very easy to confuse this defense, and there was no.
Well, and they were going to have to score a lot of points to win the game,
yeah,
right?
We weren't gonna like stay on assignments, and there was just gonna be. It was just gonna be very easy to confuse us.
Well,
so they threw the kitchen sink at us.
I thought they had a game plan of we need to score a lot of points because we think our defense isn't good enough to keep up. Also, we have a problem with scoring points because they did until Saturday. They
Right.
had a problem with scoring points. Tennessee shut them down.
Right.
Alabama, they covered against Alabama, but it wasn't. I mean, Alabama
Right.
pretty much shut them down
right.
too.
And part of the reason I think that maybe this was like maybe Missouri's turning point, because if you go watch those games and you go watch LSU game, that's a completely different offense. Like not just like in terms of production, but in
Yeah.
what they're doing is not even close to what we saw on film of
Right.
them.
The scary part was, all right, so Glenn Logan played.
Right. And
Apparently, Apu didn't. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wasn't on the
Oh,
field.
God.
Nobody talked about that
Right.
until after the game.
Right.
Never even
I
saw
didn't
the field.
didn't even notice it. Honestly.
So he was out for some reason.
And you needed someone in the middle to
Clog.
to clog, and I just don't.
There was
that's
T-Bob
baffling.
Abear. He's doing a fantastic job on Sundays cutting up film.
Yeah.
Everybody gives T-Bob a lot of shit because he's goofy and like know.
I used to like not like T-Bob that much actually because I thought he always tried to like give analysis and I kind of never just
You
didn't
never
like
trusted his
I
analysis.
didn't like his analysis because he was so goofy. But like the past couple years, I've really like.
Well, this one's great.
I love
This
T-Bob
one's
now.
screenshots
Now he's maybe
on
one of my
Twitter.
favorite guys on that lineup.
Screenshots on Twitter, cutting up film,
Right.
and one of them was just so depressing. It showed all 4 of our linemen locked up, or maybe 3 linemen. I'm not sure. The 2 free offensive linemen are locked up 5 yards down the field with the with the linebackers. So they've gotten to the second level. They're locked up with our linebackers, and it is like the epitome of getting gashed up front. You cannot, as linebackers, you cannot let these offensive linemen just engage with you like this.
Right.
And it speaks to a little bit of the flat-footedness that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And I was interested if Damone Clark didn't get back with us, but he was going to come on the podcast. But I was like, what are we even going to ask him?
Right.
Like, how is it going to sound disrespectful? Because we got to ask him some questions.
That is something I was worried about because, like, I mean, Damone has been the centerpiece.
A lot of people have been criticizing him.
Of the defensive criticism, which does suck. And I think it's just something I keep hearing from former players is that whenever you're confused on defense, you're not going to move. You can't move. You're going to look slow on defense if you're not 100% sure what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
And that is the case with just about every single guy on our defense right now.
I agree.
Outside of maybe the edge rushers.
I agree.
Their job seems to be very simple. Just get upfield, go get the quarterback.
Yeah, and
they're
that's
doing
why
a
you
pretty
see
good job.
that's why you see Ojolari and Ali Gay doing pretty well.
Right.
Now Ali Gay's been missing last game, I felt.
Yeah. I agree.
Didn't see a whole lot from him.
Well,
now
he
Missouri did a great job of getting rid of the ball.
that right tackle from Missouri is actually one of the better tackles in the league.
Okay.
I remember the Mazodcast guys were saying something about that.
Okay. Now Ojolari is a guy that
Ojolari's awesome. And
young,
when Andre Anthony came out with an injury, maybe early, and someone was like, "Oh no, he's coming out," and I was like, "All right." I mean, in my opinion, that means we're going to put our better player in because Ojolari may be the best pass rusher that we have.
Yeah.
Probably is. In fact, I would say that he is.
I agree. I think he is. I think him and Ali Gay are like 2 guys on the edge. You need to have them on each side, and you need to bring the pressure. Now, the problem that I found against Missouri is that you didn't bring the pressure up the middle at the same time. And I saw that against a little bit against Mississippi State, and I was begging for it
that was
more.
One of our big things.
I was begging for it more because you needed it,
right.
but they didn't do it at all against Missouri. It felt like.
Well, that's my big thing with Damone Clark is that we're not. I never see him in pass rush. I mean, almost never. And I thought the big thing with Pelini was that, like, you're always going to eventually get a guy, like a free runner coming up the middle, and he's just going to be flying upfield, and he's going to smoke the quarterback. That's what I always remember from those defenses back when Pelini was here his first go-round.
Right.
Is like guys like LaRon Landry and Chad Jones just flying up the middle untouched.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I don't see that anymore.
No, and I feel
like guys like Jacoby Stevens.
Yeah.
And you see him more in like a QB spy role.
So, I think that's one of the things that we saw or we heard that they could be changing Jacoby Stevens's role a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. I think
like he could be
happy to hear
he
that.
could be more of a linebacker on the line of scrimmage kind of guy, almost like a Tyrann Mathieu.
How many
kinda
times has he been compared to Isaiah Simmons?
Oh, for sure, he's a tweener.
It's the one comp everybody makes with him.
Right.
And why just put him in the role? Just do it. It works so well for Clemson.
He can cover.
Right.
He can blitz.
Mhm.
He can. I mean, he's so good at the line of scrimmage. You got to keep him there. He's a great tackler. Well, first of all, let's talk about the tackling. The tackling and the angles that they're getting right now is
God, some of these angles are terrible.
It's just terrible.
I did.
It's
notice
awful.
That. And usually I don't notice angles unless they're really bad.
We were seeing
But
Mo
they
Hampton, Todd Harris. Todd Harris has gotten a lot of heat
Yeah, he's another one. Yeah.
the past week with Barstool, LSU Barstool's account.
Oh yeah. What a
Um,
jackass.
I know.
That guy is.
Why would you call a player out like
Fucking
that
dick.
on Twitter? Like
Love that. Love
I'm
that
all
Von
about
Rosenberg
criticism.
Got him.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
ZVR 09 was all over him.
Yeah.
Our boys, Zach. We need to get Zach back on the podcast because
Yeah.
I bet you he has something to say about that. We
Mhm.
could probably have him on next week.
Well, actually, I asked him if he wanted to come on and talk about it, and he was like, "Nah, I think I'm just gonna leave it." now." He's
He
like-
did enough.
He was like, I kind of want to just move on.
I told him, I was like, yeah, ZVR doing work on a
Yeah,
Sunday.
that was basically him saying,
Yeah, I washed my hands of it.
"Yeah,
He did investigative reporting like we do.
hmm
Um,
yeah." He went down, and found the guy.
he did. He found the exact guy.
He was like,
I mean, boy, you don't mess with Zach.
Mess
Zach
with
is
the bull.
bad. You mess with bull, you get the horns.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate KJ Malone being on with us. Check out these. All right, I'm smoking the cigar right now. It's the Karl Malone cigar. This is the cigar that Joe Burrow smoked after the national championship game, and all the guys were smoking.
It's a famous picture.
Yeah, it's so good. Check this. Take a picture of this.
You gotta get the smoke coming up. Where's the smoke? There you go.
See it? That
Yeah.
same thing. Me and him.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and Joe Burrow, the same guy.
How much did that painting go for? That Joe Burrow painting?
I don't know.
You can go for like $5,000 something like that.
Something like that.
So basically, that should go for $5,000.
This
it's
could.
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Exact same
All
thing.
district 1995 offensive lineman and Joe Burrow, same guy. We appreciate him being out here. PF Importers. Check out Churchill's. They have the Karl Malone cigar at Churchill's in Baton Rouge. And check out PF Importers because they'll show, if you're not in Baton Rouge, where you can find these cigars. Dominican cigars, it's actually very good. I've had some, I've recently got into cigar smoking, and this one's actually one of the best that I've had since I started smoking one. Got a little rum. You can get some rum. Eventually, we'll have Karl Malone, John Brady.
Apparently.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get Jordy Collada. We'll have a big old like block party out
Yeah,
here one night,
that
talk
sounds
about
great.
LSU basketball. Let's do that.
I need to figure out if Karl Malone plays
my
golf,
God.
man.
Oh man, this is gonna be fantastic. We're in the we'll call it the Courtesy Automotive Group backyard. Courtesy Automotive Group Bear Process Safety backyard. We're Bear Process Safety approved with our fire in the backyard. It's contained, just safety approved, everything.
Maybe eventually it could be the Karl Malone backyard.
Yeah, here's hoping. Need all the help I can get.
That would be awesome.
PF Importers backyard.
There you go.
Appreciate him.
Prefer Karl Malone.
Yeah,
Just the-
so we're not going to do coffee and donuts this week, guys. No game now, so we're going to push that, and we'll have our regular episode again next Wednesday. And we appreciate everybody that's joined us tonight. Special shout out again to Brandon Lejeune, Courtesy Automotive Group, Courtesy Buick GMC in Lafayette, 4750 Johnson Street. Check him out on Facebook. He's even posting them today. 2021 Yukon Denali body styles that are coming in. People are pre-ordering them, and they're just now coming in, and he's stoked about it. So I'll post all of his information. You guys can like him and follow him on Facebook. And when he posts a deal on Facebook, you need to go after it. We talked about it earlier. Follow him for his hit list. The hit list.
You're having way too much fun.
I'm
over
having way
there.
too much fun with the hit list. All right, so also follow Bear Process Safety, guys. Follow the Big Orange Bear on Facebook and on Instagram. Bear PS in the Wild on Instagram, but bearps.com. Adam Berry, he'll be on possibly Friday night. We're gonna do the Home Dogs podcast on Friday night. I'm on vacation this week from work, but it's also my anniversary tomorrow, 10-year anniversary tomorrow. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, 10-year anniversary
So-
tomorrow.
I mean, it's not a wedding anniversary, but me and Sarah's dating
That's
anniversary
not the
is
same thing.
today.
It's not the same thing.
Well, it's interesting that I didn't know it was so close.
Yeah, so tomorrow is the 10-year. So wait, your dating anniversary, and you're here doing a podcast with us?
Yeah, we're about to go to Panettas. It's Karl Malone.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I like to hear. So 10-year wedding anniversary is tomorrow. don't know what our plans are tomorrow, but we're not doing a podcast tomorrow. I can tell you that. She said no to podcasts.
Well,
I have too many podcasts in my life right now.
mhm.
So I'm enjoying my life right now in my backyard every day, smoking cigars. So we appreciate Carl Malone and KJ Malone for hooking us up with the La Aurora Carl Malone cigar. Guys, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, and reach out to us on Twitter. You can see us right here at the top, One Team, One Pod on Twitter. Also, you can check us out on YouTube. We have our YouTube channel, One Team, One Podcast. Also, go to our website, oneteamonepodcast.com. And you can always go to our shop page at oneteamonepodcast.com. I have new T-shirts that I'm popping up. I got in the T-shirt mode the other day, and I wanted to make a few new ones, and I made a Mad Max T-shirt.
Coffee's for closers only.
So also check out our.
Yeah, you need to get that Mad Max T-shirt in case Miles Brennan does go down.
Coffee's for closers only.
Yes, have to have the Mad Max one.
And just pair it together with your Slim Reaper T-shirt.
Do we need to do a TJ Maxx T-shirt?
Yes. Yeah, that was
Coffee's for closers
that
only.
was that guy Richard.
Yeah, that was a great idea.
Shout out to Richard for that. That was
Richard
awesome.
Saloom, that was a great idea.
Coffee's for closers
So
only.
we'll also have our Latoya Destroya T-shirt on our shop
Definitely
page.
need to get that one.
So go to oneteamonepodcast.com, click on shop, it'll go straight to our T-shirt page. We don't make anything on that, guys. We're just having fun with that. So go check them out. There's T-shirts that I would like to wear. I actually own a lot of them, so you'll see me wearing them whenever we do these podcasts. And please reach out to us on Twitter. We love to interact with people on Twitter. We have a lot of fun. We like to break news.
Oh yeah.
So what did we break this? We broke some things today, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were the things that we broke today?
You broke some news.
I broke
you're
number one. Florida's scared of us. It's
Yeah.
just plainly obvious.
terrified.
They're terrified of LSU.
They don't want any part of this spread defense.
They don't want anything of. Yeah, they're like, dude, this Pelini zone is too much for us. Let's call it a day.
Did you see my tweet yesterday about the imaginary defense?
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
that was funny.
It only got like 3 likes.
You were disappointed.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna blow up for sure.
I had something right after that, right?
think you did. Yeah, you said something about something else. Yeah, something similar.
With defense.
Uh-huh.
I forgot what it was.
I can't remember either. Must have not been as good as mine.
We have a lot of fun on our Twitter, guys. We have a lot of fun on Facebook, too. So if you want to have fun and you want to listen to an LSU podcast that has fun, do that. I am tired of people that are taking LSU football too seriously right now. I'm tired of it. Let's have some fun this year. It's a crazy year.
Right.
Let's laugh a little bit.
Why would you want to go listen to someone who's serious right now?
I don't know why you need to be so serious right
Like,
now.
Why are you serious?
Why are you serious?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Why.
Let's have some fun. If you want the alternative, One Team, One Podcast, right?
Yeah.
Follow us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, SoundCloud, Stitcher. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, we're all over the place. You know, yesterday I kind of just wasn't feeling football. I just wasn't feeling it. And Will Wade had his first press conference yesterday. Man,
You got
He's-
jacked up.
he got me in the mood for basketball.
All right, basketball. We're gonna go on to a whole nother level because Brandon Lejeune, our big sponsor at Courtesy Automotive Group, Courtesy Buick GMC, he loves him some basketball.
Yeah,
You been under a rock?
that's our best drop.
He loves basketball, man. Will Wade, we're all on board with General Frank Williams Wade.
Yeah.
We are going to dedicate this season to Will Wade. We have a few things in the works. We already have Taurus Bright possibly as a guest. He's already confirmed that. We're talking to possibly Randy Livingston maybe joining us on the podcast.
Nice.
We've already had John Brady on before, obviously. We'll get Jordy Collado on because we know he's a big basketball fan. And Jordy's been a big supporter of us with the Don't Be a Dick t-shirts. And Carl Malone. We have Carl Malone. Where else would you rather be right now?
I was talking about this with my roommate, like as like a pipe dream. Like Wouldn't that be crazy if we got Carl Malone on and then he just pops on the damn
Yeah.
video?
So go look back. If you missed it, Carl Malone made a little appearance with KJ. He liked to one-up KJ a little bit. He jumped right behind him, and Hall of Famer Carl Malone joined us for a second. Appreciate, again, KJ Malone for joining us. Appreciate K Malone, Miss K. I think she shared us as well.
Yeah, she started retweeting some of our
Yeah,
some of
and
the
then
stuff.
check out Legends. If you guys are in North Louisiana, go check out Legends Cigar Bar. Carl Malone's bar up there. All of his kids are running all of his businesses. He's living the life up there. You're probably going to run into Carl up there if you go in. Check all those guys out. We appreciate their support. Again, this is one team, one podcast.
Logging out.